We've had a million videos on this channel about game balance and lack thereof. To say that we're professionals is kind of an understatement. I think we deserve our gosh darn doctorates at this point. And though I believe that rotating balance via nerfs and buffs is actually healthy for the longevity of a game, this video isn't about that. It's about something much more sinister. You see, in League of Legends, there's a unique class of champions. Champions that aren't necessarily the strongest characters at every point, but offer so much in their kit that no matter what Riot does, they'll survive the Nerf nuke via just being viable enough to always be a good choice. But before we dive into today's characters, we have a very special message from today's sponsor. Hey everyone, this video is sponsored by Opera GX. Opera GX is the world's first browser for gamers. It's an internet browser for gamers like you and me. What exactly does that mean? Well, I'm glad you asked. Well, how about features like GX Control that allows you to limit the browser's use of your CPU and RAM to not hurt your performance in-game? I have 64 gigs of RAM. I'm gonna let you use 4 and only 20% of my CPU because I need the rest to game. There's also Network Limiter that lets you limit the bandwidth that Opera GX can use so that it doesn't hurt your performance when you're online gaming or streaming. There's Twitch integration. Log in on the sidebar so that you can get notifications whenever one of your favorite streamers like myself logs on. You can also add Facebook Messenger, Discord, WhatsApp, you name it. GX Corner will keep you up to date with free games, the best deals, and gaming news all in one place. There's a ton of customization and design choices so that you can browse in style. There's a forced dark mode so that you don't burn both your retinas out by browsing the internet. It even comes with a free and unlimited VPN. Are you fucking kidding me? This is hands down one of the coolest sponsors I've got, so what are you doing just looking at me? Go click the link in the description and download Opera GX so that you can browse the internet like a true gamer. Like me, I'm a true gamer. Take it from me. Go download Opera GX in the link at the top of the description. It's in a pinned comment too. Okay, thank you Opera GX for sponsoring the video. You guys are awesome. Now let's dive into the content. Number 5 is Jax and Renekton. Renekton has always been such a unique case in League of Legends. He's a hyper-mobile off-tank that can one-shot an ADC because a dev thought that it would be funny to give him 2 dashes and a point-and-click stun that attacks 3 times and scales for 225% of his AD. Not his bonus AD, his AD. This ability also destroys, I just found this out by the way, this ability also destroys damage mitigating shields before he hits the target, so even if your support said they peeled, no the fuck they didn't. It also has a 9-second base cooldown, but judging by the fact that most Renektons end up getting ability haste, this ability will be happening so often that you'll feel like the co-star in a Charlie Chaplin film. In a lot of pain and lacking in color. The fact that Renekton's ultimate makes him better at doing that, and his Q is another gore drinker that he can get with a gore drinker, basically means that the only way to counter a Renekton is to not interact with the fucking Renekton. I'm gonna throw Jax in here too, and I know it sounds weird, but let me explain. Jax is similar to Renekton because they're both hyper-mobile, bursty off-tanks. Except Jax ends up a little bit higher on the list because his stun is AoE. He also deals hybrid damage, counters auto-attackers, is better at split pushing, and his ultimate gives him resistances based off of the offensive stats that he has. Basically meaning if Jax can punch harder than you, he probably hasn't noticed that you're punching him in the first place. Which is why Jax is a little bit higher on the list. On top of that, this might also be a teeny tiny bit of bias, but you can jungle Jax, meaning I like him more. Next up, we have Ezreal. Ezreal is a particularly unique case on this list because his strengths aren't just his damage. They're his ability to get there and his ability to do it. I'll explain. Ezreal's Q is a skill shot that happens every 4.5 seconds. Hitting an enemy with it reduces all of Ezreal's ability cooldowns by 1.5 seconds, meaning landing it drops it down to 3 seconds, and with some ability haste, he'll be basically shooting it all the time. The ability has insane range and is basically coming out every other auto attack, but it doesn't stop there. This ability also procs on hit damage, meaning Ezreal quite literally synergizes with any item that empowers his auto attack. And since Ezreal is basically spamming his abilities every second of the game, he could build tier really early on, and have a Muramana at relatively early stages of the game. But that's not it. Ezreal's E is a fucking flash. And since Ezreal also takes flash, he becomes insanely hard to kill because if you catch him, he'll just flash out. And if you flash after him, he will just flash again. Number 3 is gonna have to be Lee Sin. I'm a firm believer that move speed is the secret killer in League of Legends. And people are starting to notice. I mean, Lilia is basically becoming the next Teemo, and I'm all for it. The only reason I can't stay mad at her is because she sounds like Ross Boomsocks, and it just melts my heart. But understanding that move speed is quite literally the hardest stat to build in League of Legends, positioning becomes very crucial to playing well. Now let me tell you why Lee Sin doesn't give a shit about where you are. Because Lee Sin has an ability to get to you. He has an ability to get away from you. He has an ability to keep you from getting away, and he has an ability to get you away from him. Oh, and he has flash. Lee Sin doesn't only punish bad positioning. Lee Sin punishes positioning, period. I think, therefore I am, is a very important phrase written by the legendary philosopher Descartes, but people seem to forget the second half of said phrase, I am, therefore Lee Kick. Number 2 is Olaf. Olaf is one of the hardest characters to deal with in League of Legends. Not just because he unlocks unlimited health regen whenever he's low, but also because he can run down just about any character in the game via throwing an axe through their ass. On top of that, Olaf's ultimate literally means no. You cannot peel him, you cannot stop him. There are only 3 things certain in life: death, taxes, and Olaf. I wish I had more to say, but it's pretty self-explanatory. If you see an Olaf coming, get the fuck out of there. And number 1 is a champion that we can all agree with. A champion that has been an assassin, a tank, a top laner, a mid laner, and a jungler. I'm pretty sure you can tell who I'm talking about, and if you can't yet, you're gonna have to wait 1 second because I need to tell you that the majority of the people watching this video aren't subscribed to the channel. We release videos at 10 a.m. PST every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I think that you would enjoy subscribing because we put our heart and soul into these videos, and they are all bangers. So please subscribe and hit the little bell thingy so you don't miss a video. Okay, let's dive into number 1. To say that Ekko is overpowered is like saying that Goku would be a good boxer. It's like saying the Flash is a decent runner. It's like saying I upload weekly. Ekko is Riot's favorite character in League of Legends. Unlike every other character on this list who is carried by an ability or 2, every single one of Ekko's abilities is too good. His passive deals bonus damage whenever he hits you 3 times, whether in ability or auto attacks. His Q is a 60% slow that deals a ton of damage. His E is a dash, then a blink. His ultimate gives him a second chance to beat your ass and a gigantic heal. And his W is a gigantic 2.25 second AoE stun that gives him a huge shield. I hate Ekko more than I hate most characters in League of Legends because he's just so hard to play poorly. A good Ekko doesn't need to ult in order to kill his target. A bad Ekko ults, comes back, and kills his target. Every single one of his abilities is literally unnerfable without being changed altogether. And that's why I strongly believe that unless you're trying to play him and get free LP, Ekko should quite literally always be perma-banned. Okay, that's it. That's the entire list. I know that I missed some people here, okay? So I figured that I would ask you guys in the comments, who do you think is the most unnerfable character in League of Legends? That includes the people on the list. If you agree, just say that you agree with blank pick. A character that is just flat out too strong with their kit, and no change in ratio or cooldown is going to be enough to keep them from being picked. Thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, be sure to click like and ring the little subscriber bell thing too, because it helps and I want to see your beautiful face again. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. And I just want to say, I know the word unnerfable is a pretty big word, but what I mean by it is that you can't really nerf the character without removing something gigantic in their kit like they did to Aatrox. Do you remember that? I know the annotations are there, but do you remember that? Do you remember when Aatrox used to come back to life? Because that's the whole point of that character and his lore. And then Riot said, yeah, it's too strong. Fuck your lore. We're gonna remove your whole shit. Remember that? I remember. What the fuck, Riot? Imagine maining Aatrox and having your main thing removed. Okay, that's it. Click the video on the screen. Goodbye.